Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, introducing Pictonico and his insect conscience, Jiminico Crickinico. Buy some garlic, it has special powers, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society has special powers with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I am joined, as I am always joined, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. We've got a good show for you today. We're going to be talking about the news from the week, including the announcement of a new Nintendo mobile game phone thing. We don't totally understand it. And then on Thursday, we're going to be playing Who's That Yoshi Enemy? But in the meantime, Mark, how's it going?
It's going great. I've just kind of been staring at conscience, and
Yes.
trying to
Figure out how to spell it.
figure out how to spell it and like why it is pronounced that way.
Yes.
I looked it up and it's like conscience.
Right. Yes. And in our show notes here, I did just type the word conscious, as your
Like consciousness.
yes, like your ability to perceive.
But
things.
neither of them like neither of them are spelled like they sound.
They're both bad words, and I don't
They're
like
bad
them.
words.
They're bad words.
Put it on the list.
They're not naughty words.
No.
They're just bad.
Yeah, Santa's still going to bring him presents.
I mean, totally, and still going to give us
And
presents.
still give us presents.
But those words are bad.
yes.
We don't need them. We need words like them.
Yeah, we need better words.
This is what this whole project is about. You and I are out there to find better.
Discovering
words.
better words.
Yes.
I mean, if Shakespeare can make up words.
Yeah, if Shakespeare can make up words, we can make up words.
And he's dead.
Well, I don't think he made up any words after he died.
That's true. No, I know that's
Have
true. I was going to say that's probably true, but I know that's true.
Have we made up any words on this podcast?
No.
Here's the thing. My memory as far as this podcast goes is pretty shot. So we could have made up a new word like last week, and
Well,
I don't know that
I know I
remember it.
misspeak all the time. And
Sure,
so maybe that counts.
Maybe?
But I don't think so. I think this podcast will probably end when we make up a new word.
Okay, so you've heard it here. When you hear us utter a new word and it's right? Like we say the word and people are like, yes, that's what that word means.
Yeah.
Then we end the podcast.
Yeah, I think it might literally be just like, it just cuts to black.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, if you
it's like
want
the end of The Sopranos.
right, it's possible that this happens in one of our Patreon episodes. We don't know.
Oh my gosh, it is.
So if you want to be plugged into that when it might happen, we don't know. Head on over to patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society, where if you're supporting us at the 8 or 16-bit levels, you get access to our once-a-month episodes of miniseries like NCS at the movies.
Yes, where Patrick, myself, and usually a special guest are going to the movies together and seeing a movie in theaters and then talking about it. And we have an episode coming out later this weekend all about The Mandalorian and Grogu, the new Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this. I don't have any delusions that it's going to be like a great film, but it could be.
Yeah, I'm excited for the moment. I'm
Yes.
excited for a new Star Wars movie in theaters, and I'm ready with open arms to experience it, no matter what it may bring.
How's your heart? Also open?
My heart, my arms, it's all open. My
Right.
mind.
Mind is open. We're gonna go into this thing like it's gonna be a psychedelic wash over our gray matter.
Yes,
We're just going to experience it.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in that, head on over to patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society. Also, we've got miniseries available at the 4-bit and free levels. So there's stuff to listen to there. We actually just put out an episode of from season 2 of NCS Arcade where we talked about Elite Beat Agents. We just put that out on the free feed. So if that episode that came out on Thursday is to your liking and you want more of stuff like that, head on over to the Patreon.
Blocked in YouTube on YouTube in
Yes.
Russia. Can't.
Can't-
In the US,
cannot.
totally fine.
Well, it's just fine so long as we don't monetize it.
Yes,
in any
fine
way.
as long as we don't monetize it.
Turns out you put a cover of a Good Charlotte song on there, and they're gonna IP strike you.
Yeah.
like for sure. If you would like to chit chat with us, hop in our Discord. All you got to do is email us at Nintendo Cartridge Society
at gmail.com.
We send you an invitation. You come on into the Discord, you chat with us and with other people who listen to the show and who like Nintendo. Mark, we've got a handful of strange. The news is weird this week.
The news is weird.
So let's progress through the show here. Let's start talking about what we've been playing this week. Mark, you've been traveling a bit, so would you say that has increased or decreased your gameplay time?
For sure, decreased my gameplay time. So, 2 weeks ago, I was playing Super Mario Brothers Wonder because I had family visiting me, and then last week I was visiting family, and so I was playing Super Mario Brothers Wonder some more because I have a 7-year-old niece, and she is really into Super Mario Brothers Wonder right now. And it was very fun to be the uncle who had beaten Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
There you go.
So she had her Switch 2 that she brought over to show me, and then I had my Switch 2 as well. And some depending on where we would play on hers or we'd play on mine. And they have not progressed entirely through the game. They hadn't opened up they're in the desert world right now, so they still have fungi mines.
Okay.
And then whatever the other one is to go.
Well, that lava area.
Yeah,
right?
the lava area. And so to be able to show her fungi mines was very exciting to her.
Yeah.
And then to be able to say they were who's the final boss in this game? It was a surprise to them that it would be Bowser.
Well, but why?
Because this is the first
Sure.
Mario game that they're playing, I think. They've played Mario Kart before, but I don't think they've ever played a Mario platformer. I think this is the first one.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's exciting.
I know, it was very funny to be oh, it's Bowser. Bowser's the bad guy in this game. It was very cute.
It's just you meet Bowser really early in the game.
But you just see Bowser,
Sure.
I forgot that you see Bowser Jr. constantly throughout it. But yeah, I had a lot of fun playing that. We replayed levels over and over.
Yeah, fun.
And it was just a really good time. That's such a fun game.
Who do they like to play as? Who's their go-to character?
They prefer to play as Yoshi. They like to be light blue Yoshi or red Yoshi. They don't want to die.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, relatable.
Yeah.
I don't want to die,
So that was also
but
funny.
I will die over and over again in a Mario game. I'm okay with that.
So that was also funny because I was playing as Mario, and so I would get the power-ups because Yoshi can't get the power-ups. They'd be like, whoa, what is this drill thing? Or what is... Because they just don't experience it that often. I know that they sometimes play as a family, and so I'm sure they've seen it, some of them before, but it was just really fun to experience it through them.
What was there a thing that they just added to
assist mode?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
So that you can play as the other characters and get the not die
That's right.
sort of effects. Did you walk them through those?
No,
options at
I
all?
didn't. They just were so happy to play as Yoshi.
Hey man,
And
I get it.
Also I played this game, but I played mostly as Mario, and so this was my this weekend, the previous week when I was playing with family, was the first time that I had really seen Yoshi or some of the other characters in the animations. They're so cute. Yoshi is so cute in this game.
Here's the thing. Super Mario Brothers Wonder, a very cute game.
Yeah.
Visually sort of spectacular everywhere. That thing is designed within an inch of its life. And it's just a feast of delights.
But it was really fun.
Did you go back to fighting the Koopa Kids?
No, I haven't. I haven't
Okay.
played individually as well at all for the past couple of weeks. So I haven't gone back to the Bella Bell Park stuff. I was trying to, or not trying, but I was like, oh, we could do, because we were in the an area where there was, of course, one of the Captain Toad tents. So I was like, oh, we could do this, but I think the difficulty was 3 stars, and they really had their eyes on doing 2-star, even though they like doing the ships, the airships, and those are 4 stars.
Okay.
So they just have strong preferences, and whatever. We're just having a good time.
Kids are great, man.
Yeah.
Mark, I'm in a little bit of an in between space with games right now. I'm very excited for Yoshi coming out later this week and the Mysterious Book. Um, so I spent some time this weekend playing Donkey Kong Countries 2 and 3. I was just sort of like, peruse. I'm a little bit on my like weirdo retro game, like, but still in the Nintendo canon kick. So I was playing a little bit of Donkey Kong Country 2, and I was like, really what I'm hankering for here is Donkey Kong Country 3. And so I played most of that game after only playing like a world of Donkey Kong Country 2. And a couple things that I noticed from Donkey Kong Country 2. First of all, there is an effect, and I talked about this a little bit in the Discord today, but there is an effect in those water levels where like there are rising and lowering water levels where there are like there's like wooden beam scaffolding in the background, and as you like are swimming from under it, the perspective on it seems to like shift. It looks like it's a 3D object that you're seeing, like the bottom of it when you're below and the sort of top of it when you're above. And it is all just done with like, drawing different levels of like parallax stuff. There's no like actual 3D happening, but the illusion is like so complete that it's kind of astounding that it's as good as it is. So anyway, I thought that was really neat. Donkey Kong Country 2, still a game I don't really like that much. Too many vertical levels, Mark. Also, the world map, when you were on like the map of Donkey Kong Country 2, where like how the worlds connect to each other and if there's like a path between them, totally indiscernible. It's like you're just like, I guess like there's an arrow pointing up and an arrow pointing right, so I'm going to push either up or right, but I have no reasonable expectation of the path they're going to take to the next level. And then there are also like too many things that look like, like there'll be a little Cranky Kong head for where you're checking in with Cranky Kong, a little Wrinkly Kong head for where you're checking in with her, but they just look like monkey heads. And when you've beaten a level, it looks like the head of the monkey you beat it with.
Oh, that is confusing.
And also there's Krusha, who's a Kremling, who is another guy that you like check in. He's another like, good guy on the world map, but he just looks like a Kremling, which is what the enemy levels look like. So there are a lot of times that I was just like looking at the map and confused. Tell you what doesn't have that readability problem is the overworld of Donkey Kong Country 3. Because it's a little bit more free roam, because there's like a little bit more non-linearity to the way you explore that world, the paths are all clearly telegraphed. It's really, really simple to know like which way to go. Of course, that game gets a little bit confusing as you are collecting the parts for the new vehicles to like, drive around on the world map. And the bears in that game are weird. Do you remember the bears? They're like bear merchant brothers.
Right, there's like bear coins that you're collecting.
Yes, and you like buy things from one bear and give them to another bear, and all this kind of stuff. There are also a handful of levels where you're like inside pipes, like just big like sewer pipes basically. And I don't remember if this has been a take of mine in the past, but if it is, I'm just going to repeat it here. Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble, is more a Battletoads game than it is a Donkey Kong game.
This is interesting because that was your take for Donkey Kong Country 2.
Okay, I think maybe they're both Battletoads games. Definitely, I think the third one is like way Battletoadsy. That like there are a bunch of, instead of like minecarts, they're like sled levels, which feel very much like the challenge of like riding the speeder bike in Battletoads. This part in the sewers is just like level 7, I want to say, in the original Battletoads. I just think those games are Battletoads games.
Which Battletoads was developed by Rare, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like they're the few, the proud, the us that play Donkey Kong Country 2 and get a hankering to play Donkey Kong Country 3. And like play Donkey Kong Country 2
I know.
And are like, I'd rather be playing Donkey Kong Country 3. Because I feel the same way. I prefer DKC 3.
This really does just make me think like what's happening in my brain this month, because like I was like, yeah, I'll play Zelda 2. Yeah, I'll play Donkey Kong Country 3. I'm just like wallowing in like the rejected entries in vaunted franchises. Maybe I'm just getting in the right mind space for a new Yoshi game.
Yeah. Yep.
But anyway, that's what we have been playing this week. Let's get into the new releases and what we might be playing next week.
Okay, so checking in on Nintendo Music, and once again, yesterday, Monday, there was no addition to the app, but last Thursday they added the soundtracks for Yoshi on the NES and Game Boy. So,
Yes.
is Nintendo now just updating the Nintendo Music app on Thursdays, as like they do game releases and everything else, instead of Monday
Mondays,
nights,
yeah.
like they did since it launched? Because we've had weeks where they have added things on Thursdays as like special tracks.
Well, that's what it was 2 weeks ago, right? Was
For
the
Star
special
Fox?
tracks for Star Fox? Yeah.
Right.
Open parentheses, 2026, close parentheses.
So maybe it's just a Thursday thing now.
Maybe it is a Thursday thing. I mean, I would think that. So they've added the. Did you say this already? Yoshi for the NES and the Game Boy. And obviously that's like in celebration of or in anticipation of the new Yoshi game coming out later this week. Even though the games are like wholly unrelated to each other,
Right.
It's kind of nice that they put up both soundtracks at the same time instead of like continuing to dribble these things out one at a time. They're basically identical. Did you listen to these at all?
No, I didn't.
Do you know the music from these Yoshi
No,
games?
I don't know that I've ever played them.
Here's the thing, they're not great games. And the soundtracks to both of them are a little too like, I don't know, almost like madrigal or like circusy for my taste. Like there's just a little too much like bounciness. And there's like a vapidity to the music that I just don't think is that good. But in listening to the two soundtracks back to back, I'd only ever played the NES version of this game before. The sound font of the Game Boy makes a lot more sense with these tunes. It makes me think possibly it was composed on Game Boy, and then they were like, "Yeah, just port that over to the NES."
That's interesting.
But I don't have any proof of that. But it sure feels that way.
What is the gameplay of Yoshi?
It's a falling block puzzle thing where you have like a bottom Yoshi egg and a top Yoshi egg, and so like a bottom Yoshi egg is like on the bottom, or like your goal is to get one on the bottom, and then you stack things like in between them,
okay.
and you have like a little guy on the bottom who like switches the position of them, and then the things fall, and so you just want to like make eggs. It's not good. I don't like it.
I always confuse that and Yoshi's Cookie.
Which I don't know how to play. I don't know how to play Yoshi's Cookie.
Yeah.
I don't really care for either of these soundtracks. But to your question, are we on now a Thursday schedule? We took note when Nintendo changed their release dates from Fridays to Thursdays, which they've not backed off of. They're still on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Maybe we're the first clock at here. They've changed the music releases to Thursday as well.
And I wonder now if this Thursday we will get some like a handful of tracks from Mysterious Book, maybe.
That would make sense.
Also, last week on Wednesday, they released 5 Virtual Boy games. I don't know why I thought that they would just do like 1 or 2 a month or something.
Well, because they said that they were going to be like that by the end of the year, after 12 months' time, that the entire library would be out.
Right. And so I just assumed, okay, let's just divide that by the remaining number of games. And it was like, oh, okay,
1
sure.
a month.
Yeah.
So as of right now, they have released all of the games that they had announced with the release of the Virtual Boy on Nintendo Classics, with the exception of the 2 games that were previously unreleased.
Oh, okay. So those are the only ones that are remaining at this point.
Those are the only 2 that are remaining.
Yeah, because this thing launched in February. So
it's only been 3 months.
Yeah, it's interesting the way that they have done this. But anyways, it's a V Tetris, Jack Bros, Space Invaders Virtual Collection, Virtual Bowling, and Vertical Force are all now available.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of this is quite interesting. Jack Bros was a game that was produced in such limited quantities that is like one of those impossible to get carts.
And this is that one from Atlas that's like a spin-off of the Shin Megami Tensei series. Yeah.
And it's kind of like a twin stick shooter, like overhead thing where like the 3D effect is you're seeing down to like the floor of the labyrinth.
Right, but you're like a little dude that's walking around, right?
You're one of the 3 Jack Bros.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
you bet
yeah.
you are. So that's interesting and cool. And then V Tetris, Space Invaders Virtual Collection, and Virtual Bowling were all Japanese games, so had never been released outside of Japan before.
And V Tetris is the one that's just kind of standard Tetris versus
kind of, yes, yeah. It is way different than 3D Tetris, which was part of the launch of the Nintendo Classics library for this. And 3D Tetris is a bad game. V Tetris is a good game in that it is basically just Tetris, but it does have a mode where there is like a sort of Tetris cylinder that you're seeing like the back of and the front of at the same time, and you can rotate it to like get some of those pieces, some of those vertical lines from the back to like come around to the front. So it's quite cool. I'm looking forward to trying. I wanted to play some of these games today when I got home from work, but just ran out of time. But yeah, kind of crazy to me that this is most of these are all of the like non-event Virtual Boy games have been released now. They've got 2 more bullets in the chamber, and they're both big, right? In that they're both games that had not been released previously, were completed games. But yeah, like they're basically to the end of the experiment. Do you think they released both those games at the same time?
Yeah, maybe.
One
yeah,
at a time?
maybe they do.
When? How long do we have to
like
wait?
another 3 months or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, not bad, cool, but to have like a good chunk of Virtual Boy games, but just interesting that that's how they've chosen to do it.
Yeah, I do wonder if any of this is a little bit of a panic move, because they started off with 7 games. It's a lot, right? And then they released the 2 Mario games on Mario Day, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Mario's Tennis and Mario Clash. And now these 5 to like finish the library that previously existed.
So I guess they've been doing it. So yeah, maybe just like in 2 months.
Yeah.
Like 2-month chunks. No. I guess it was 1 month between, probably less. The launch of it in February.
Yep.
And then Mario Day on March 10th. And now in May. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, I do think at this point, seems likely. But by me saying yes, probably.
Yeah, it means they'll drop in like November or something.
Yeah, 1 at a time.
I do wonder if this was their plan all along. This is the kind of stuff that we'll never know, right? Or if they just saw that like basically no one is using the Virtual Boy and we're just like, forget it, just put them all out.
No, I do wonder. Well, that's the thing, right? Because like once all of these are released,
right,
it would be shocking, to be truly shocking, if there were any more marketing beats for the Virtual Boy.
If they ever say Virtual Boy again.
Right. Well, just because it's not like, oh, there just are no more games. There are no more games to put out on it.
Right.
So when would they talk about it again? It'll just be a thing that they continue to support and sell, presumably. But I do wonder if at some point, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't even matter. I was going to say that they'll stop selling like the $100 one or they'll stop selling the cardboard one and just do one or the other.
Yeah, but possible, I think.
But who knows? Who knows?
Well, and it's also, I had to look it up. The 2 games that are the unreleased games, Zero Racers, which is the F-Zero like, and D-Hopper, which is a intelligent systems game that were never released. I'm excited to play them at some point. But yeah, are those like, they already had the marketing beat over like, we are going to release these games. But yeah, just kind of a weird, it had been a little while since we last had a release on any of the classic libraries. Sorry, I'm just pulling up my spreadsheets here, so I'm not talking out my butt. But it'd been over a month since we last had releases in the classics libraries, and those were that set of like 3 NES games, including Pac-Man, Pac-Man Mendel Palace, and Tower of Dragua. Dragua! But prior to that was Pokemon Gale of Darkness for the GameCube, and that was in March. So we haven't had any Nintendo 64 games this year. We got 1 GameCube game this year. Well, I guess we get Path of Radiance as well in January. So that's not as egregious, really. But like, man, these things are coming out slow.
Yeah. I mean, it just remains a mystery.
It totally does. And so I just wanted to spend a little time here. We take the lay of the land to be like, here's here's the state of things.
But I think this Virtual Boy release of like 5 games at the same time shows that it's really hard to divine a pattern, because they could just decide, hey, we're going to release 12 Nintendo 64 games.
Yeah.
Because we feel like it, seemingly.
I mean, at this point, I think the only games that they've promised and that we've not seen, might be wrong. I actually don't know if all the I think all the GameCube games that they've promised have come out. But just those 2 Virtual Boy games are the only ones that we know for sure are coming at some point. They've also released GameCube games that were not part of the original reveal, that weren't like part of the tease, and like they had done that with Game Boy Advance too. So they did say that the Virtual Boy library that they were showing on the reveal was the entirety of the library.
Yeah.
But
it would be, I mean, there are missing games. So it would be,
including one you and I can't talk about.
That's right.
Right.
Funky Bowling.
Funky Bowling, yes.
Somebody's Funky Bowling.
Featuring Hester.
Yeah. And her cousin. Who we can't name. But anyways, yes. So I guess they could theoretically do that in the future. But is that the only game? No, Waterworld. That's also missing.
Well, yes. Obviously, there's Waterworld. There's that. What is the name of that game where it's like a block matching thing where you're like matching up intestines, and there's like an anime girl on the side of the screen that's like jumping around.
I have no idea what the name is, but I do know what you're talking about.
Most of the games worth playing or even thinking about will be on this thing when they've completed.
But you're right; those are looming out there. It is no, it is possible.
It is possible.
Yeah,
yes.
that there could be something else, even though they've told us that was not to be.
But in with Donkey Kong 64, Diddy Kong Racing, like there are still Nintendo 64 games
for sure
that feels like are like the ledger has space in it.
Yeah.
So
I mean GameCube for sure as
well,
right?
GameCube definitely has a ton. Yeah. But I do think like I get them being a little bit more measured about putting GameCube games out, just because they are like bigger, more complete game experiences. But like, where's Mario Sunshine?
Right.
No.
Yes, we are still in new releases, and we're talking about Thursday, May 21st, when Yoshi and the Mysterious Book is released.
Woo!
And then Coffee Talk Tokyo is released on Switch and Switch 2.
I don't think I was aware that they were doing another Coffee Talk that is like based in Tokyo.
Yeah, it was in one of the partner showcases, Indie World showcases.
Then I was aware of it at that point.
But anyways, and then on Friday, Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn Edition is released on Switch 2, and Bubsy 4D is released on Switch/Switch 2, which I kind of like stubbornly refuse to learn anything about.
Here's the thing.
I don't know why it bugs me so bad. I have no experience with the Bubsy series.
You don't know why it Bubsy so bad?
Listen, Bub. Z.
Oh no. It's the sort of early impressions of Bubsy 4D are like pretty good, like kind of positive.
What is Bubsy? What is a Bubsy?
Bubsy's like he's a bobcat, and it was like a 3D, sort of failed 3D platformer
on Sega.
Yeah,
okay,
possibly. I guess he started off as a 2D platformer mascot kind of guy. Moved over to 3D with the third entry, and then dormant. Sort of the butt of jokes, right? Like nobody likes a Bubsy game.
Yeah,
but it sounds like people are sort of digging this Bubsy game.
Okay.
I don't know. I'd be interested to know if anyone in our community or in the Discord is interested in, excited
evangelize
about this game.
Bubsy to me, please.
Yeah, Mark needs convincing and converting.
Do you think the 4D, like, the time is an element in the game, or do you think it includes
smell-o-vision?
Yes, that's exactly where I was going.
Yeah. No, it's like Muppet Vision.
Well,
in fact, they only got the rights to the 4D because they tore down Muppet Vision.
No, it makes sense. There can only be one. But yeah, somebody explain Bubsy to me, because I don't know why, like, of all the things in the world, I'm like crossing my arms when it comes to Bubsy, but that's just where I'm at.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Bubsy. I've just seen that people are more or less like into this new version of it. It seems like it's maybe a little bit of a busted 3D platformer in that there are a lot of ways to like exploit the physics engine.
Oh,
And like I've seen a lot of like clips of like speed running sort of stuff for a game that's not even out yet. So I think that's the vibe of the thing. We sort of hop, skipped, and jumped over it, but Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, big deal. A first-party Nintendo game coming out on Thursday.
That's right. I think for myself,
it's remarkable that we're here already, right?
It is. That part is crazy.
Yeah.
I don't plan on
yourself,
picking this
yes.
up. Yeah, I don't plan on picking it up. But just because we don't know that it's developed by Goodfeel, but it seems that way. All indicators are pointing to that being true, and I just don't really jive with their games, and so I am deciding to pass on this one. But you're picking it up.
Yeah. I've got I pre-ordered a physical copy from Amazon because I could buy it for less than I could digitally,
Which rocks.
and will be arriving on Thursday. I'm very excited to play the game and like dig into the world of all these weird little creatures and learn about them. All right, so those are the new releases. Mark, let's close this segment out. Which brings us to a regular segment on our show. It's time for 433. In 1952, American composer John Cage wrote a piece called 433, wherein a performer or a group of performers didn't play their instruments for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. For the purposes of this show, our instruments are talking about Nintendo. So for the duration of one performance of 433, Mark and I will talk about something not at all Nintendo related, thus fulfilling the contract of the piece. We're talking about magic.
Yes, not Magic the Gathering.
No.
Illusions, tricks. Did you ever go through a phase where I certainly did.
Yes.
Where you were interested in magic, you wanted to learn magic tricks, you wanted
Yes. Did you ever have are you familiar with the Klutz series of books? Klutz?
Yes,
Yeah, they're like little kid instructional books. So there's like a Klutz juggling book, there's a Klutz
and
rope
they usually
tricks
came
book.
like packaged with like the juggling
things,
one with like 3 juggling balls or
Absolutely.
something like that. Yeah.
And the Klutz magic book came with like a handkerchief and a fake thumb.
Oh, fun.
So like I went through a little bit of a phase, but I was not good at it, or didn't feel like I was good at it.
Yeah, I never really put any time into being good at it, or even trying.
You did like 3 or 4 months at the Magic Castle, but
can you really call that trying?
Yeah, it's.
Did you ever have a magician birthday party or did your friends ever have that? Like, was that something that
I don't think so. We didn't really have like performer because there was never like a clown.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or like Spider-Man didn't come to any of our birthday parties or anything like that.
I can't remember if I've talked about the Chicken Man on this in 433
Actually,
before.
No, I do feel like that's come up recently.
I think the Chicken Man has come up before. But anyways, I saw the Chicken Man at a friend's birthday party, and this was a man who was a magician, but he had like feathery, like yellow feathery pants and striped socks. So, and maybe like a vest with like kind of like wing cutouts on the for sleeves. But
is this at all related to the chicken lady from The Kids in the Hall?
No.
Okay.
No. Anyway, so I saw
she's trouble.
I saw the Chicken Man at my friend's birthday party. I was probably in 1st or 2nd grade. And so I, of course, wanted the Chicken Man at my birthday party.
Naturally.
And then one year, he was traveling, and I saw David Copperfield, also when I was young. So this was probably like, or maybe around the same age.
Like 1st grade?
Yeah.
So would this have been around the time of like the Masked Magician giving away the secrets?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, great.
Yes.
What a formative event in the life of young people who are currently our age.
Right. Yes. Absolutely.
It felt genuinely scandalous.
I saw something recently, and this is one of those, I saw a headline, but it was on a podcast or something like that, where a magician was on it, and they were talking about the Masked Magician.
Yeah.
And that magician was probably our age, give or take.
Currently our age.
Yeah, currently our age, like give or take. And they were saying that the Masked Magician, the things they were revealing were not actually always how that trick was truly done.
Well, sure. I mean, just demonstrating a way the trick could be done.
Yes. And risking his life doing it. God bless you, Masked
Yeah.
Magician.
Thank you for your service.
Do you think the Masked Magician was multiple magicians?
Absolutely.
Because
yeah.
every special, the previous one would have been killed between filming.
I mean, I do think that's why. Yes. And also why you develop the mask, because that magician is not going to be long for the
it's
world.
like Batman and the Cowl.
Right. He's going to be cut in half for real.
He's a symbol more than he is.
Yeah,
that's right.
Both of the things that we said are both good.
Yeah.
And
The
we
thing-
acknowledge
the
and
thing
we
you
honor them
said-
both. Yep. The thing that you said is good, and the thing that I said is good.
Yes.
Right. I feel like I went through a phase where I was like, magic is dumb. I don't want to be in the presence of it at all.
Right.
Maybe like from college for maybe like a decade, thereabouts. But then I remember going to like wine tasting somewhere in Northern California and sitting at a table, and they had like one of those traveling close-up magicians.
Oh, right.
Who like came over to the table while we're like trying wines, and just started doing like card tricks and like the kind of thing where like you write on the card and it like winds up in your purse somehow or whatever. And it was just like we'd been drinking a little bit, so it was just like exciting and fun. And I was like, I did one of those like total 360s where I was like, never mind, this is fun and I like it.
I have never been to the Magic Castle, but I would like to go.
Yeah.
And I've heard that part of the fun is you are in these kind of like intimate spaces with people doing up close magic.
Yeah.
Which just seems like it would be really fun.
Magic Castle's very cool. It is unfortunately like an invitation. Like it's not hard, but you do need to know someone who belongs to the Magic Castle to like use one of their invites to go. And then like it's sort of an expensive evening because the dinner, which I think you have to do, is an expensive dinner. But yeah, like there are all these like little rooms that have like that are different stages where there are kind of shows going on all the time, plus people in the hallways doing, like you say, that kind of close-up magic. And then on top of that, these big like marquee shows. It's a cool place. We should find a way to go. All right. We were accompanied today by an ensemble at the Musical Instrument Museum in Phoenix, Arizona. Mark, let's get into the news.
Yesterday, Nintendo revealed a new free-to-start mobile game launching May 28th. Pictonico!
It's called Pictonico, and the exclamation point is part of the name of the thing.
Yeah, that's right.
So log that away.
Uh-huh.
It goes in there with WarioWare, get it together.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And halfway to Punch-Out. Punch-Out has two.
From the press release, turn your photos into minigames. Sure, it's kind of silly, but there's no telling what will happen next. You can try a few minigames for free or purchase volumes to unlock up to 80 minigames in total, ranging from easy to pretty tricky. Get ready to laugh out loud when you look back at old photos. You can even take photos with friends on the spot and use them right away.
Okay, so from just Mark and I have both seen the trailer, I would say I don't have my head totally wrapped around this thing, but it feels like it's a little bit of a WarioWare experience.
The minigame seemed very
Yes.
seemed very WarioWare to me.
Yes, where you are like doing a quick read of the situation, executing something, and then it's over.
But the faces of your friends or whatever from photos that have been taken
Right.
are on the characters that are
Like in these minigames.
Yeah, in the minigames.
Which, in some ways, like it shares those features with like the old Game Boy camera, which would have, or like the 3DS.
Right, Face Raiders.
Face Raiders, yeah, exactly. So, you and I were recently talking about the Game Boy camera. And at the time I was like, they should have that on phones. And this doesn't seem like it's exactly that. Although we've not really seen the full suite of features here. There may be a Game Boy camera filter. And if there is not, they are fools.
That would be pretty cool. Also, we in the past have said, like WarioWare totally makes sense as a phone
Yes.
game. So it's interesting to see them do this sort of thing where it's like, yes, it is seemingly like the zaniness of WarioWare, but taking advantage of the fact that your phone has a built-in camera and kind of combining those two things together. Also interesting that it's developed by Intelligent Systems.
Yes.
Which is like more of a named like close Nintendo like developer that works on console games for Nintendo all the time.
The Fire Emblem series, the Mario RPG series, which is Paper Mario.
And then have them be publishing it rather than, not that it's a bad studio or anything, but like DNA or whoever they've partnered with for some of those other games. It's like, no, this is a close Nintendo partner who is creating this. So it's all kind of interesting. Also, that they're doing this at all, because it seemed like Nintendo's like mobile game aspirations were dead as soon as the Switch took off.
I mean, that's definitely true. What was the name of the Fire Emblem game that came out?
Oh, that's right. Not even that long ago.
Not even that long
ago.
Shadow something. Yeah.
Let me look on my phone. I think I still have it downloaded.
It's great. Not a very good game, and certainly not good compared to the Fire Emblem.
I in fact
Heroes.
do not.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem Heroes. But yeah. And anyway, it's just it's interesting that it seems like they've not actually stopped, but they have slowed way down on like mobile game development.
That's a good point.
What something I find totally interesting here is that like Pictonico is not a brand of Nintendo thing. This is a new series. This is a brand new idea, brand new IP from Nintendo. Pictonico, all the other games that they've done, Dr. Mario World, Mario Kart Tour,
Dragalia Lost.
Dragalia Lost is an excellent counterexample.
Is the one that
the only
that they didn't do that. But no, you're right. This does feel different in that regard, where it's like, no, it's not an extension of.
We're good.
Okay. No, it's not an extension of an existing franchise. It is something totally new that doesn't make sense on a Switch 2 because that doesn't have a camera or anything like that.
Right.
So the only place it really makes sense in Nintendo's lineup right now would be on mobile. Bizarre. Or maybe not surprising. Super surprising.
Yeah, I mean, it is not bizarre though, right? Because like they're with Star Fox, we've got these like avatars, right? That are basically like, Snapchat filters for, to make you look like a Star Fox character. But it's like, there's limited functionality there because not everyone has the camera for their Switch 2, or even if they do have a USB-C camera, they don't like have it plugged in because it's just like, no, my Switch is all the way on the other side of whatever.
Right.
It doesn't seem like it's something that's in common regular practice for a lot of people. But like they're thinking about how to use cameras.
Well, I also wonder if, that could be. I wonder that maybe that is where this like rolled out of, is that the germ of the idea was something for like the console.
Yeah.
And just kind of like Alarmo, was like an R&D thing and it turned into Alarmo. Also, I wonder if this is an outgrowth of like strategically, I'm trying to think like, why do you do this if you're Nintendo? And maybe it's because they want more Nintendo accounts. They want more people to create Nintendo accounts. And just like a few years ago when they were talking about how, only so many countries have Switches officially released, but Super Mario Run is available everywhere. So when the Mario movies came out, they saw like a increase in people downloading Super Mario Run because it was available in app stores in countries that don't officially have Switch. And I wonder if this is kind of similarly, they're like, well, here's a way for us to reach markets that the Switch 2 is not officially released in, and we can get these people Nintendo accounts and start marketing to them.
I mean, I think that's definitely part of it. I think there's another thing where like, Nintendo's in like a little bit of a weird place with Tomodachi Life, because that game obviously creates a lot of like shareable moments that people have found ways to like work around. Within the Switch infrastructure, you can't like share those screenshots and like saved videos, but people find ways to do it, and share them a lot on social media. If you are putting your friends or celebrities' faces into these like silly WarioWare style mini games, that's going to be shareable content.
That's very true.
People are going to be passing this thing around. Like I think in a week and a half we're going to see a bunch of stuff on social media from this game.
And it seems perfect. I mean, honestly, from my perspective, it seems like perfect for the phone. Like that seems
Yeah,
fun.
totally.
Like something that you would just turn on, play a few mini games, in between doing something else, and then go back to your regular life.
How do you think they keep naughty things from appearing on
I don't
this?
think. Well, yeah, because how does it work? Because it sounds like it will. I mean, I guess technology is just advanced enough that it can do face recognition and it can recognize
What is
that-
a face and
what
what
is
is
a
not a
face and is
face?
not a face.
I mean, but can I put googly eyes on my butt?
I
And
bet you
then-
can.
Yeah.
I bet you could if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can take photos now. And what does it say? You can even take photos with friends on the spot. So you can even take photos of your butt on the spot and use it right away.
As long as you have googly eyes.
As long as you have googly eyes.
But yeah, I mean, I guess So who knows
Yeah.
what exactly this thing is going to look like? I do think it's funny that the language of you can play a few mini games for free or purchase volumes to unlock 80 mini games in total.
It's interesting that volumes is not capitalized.
Right, because volumes in this case feels like a term of art,
Right, yeah.
That, like, we're not familiar with it yet. Where they're like, yes, volume 1 is these 10 mini games, volume 2 are these 10 mini games. But yeah, and this 80 mini games in total is a lot. Like that's the size of a WarioWare game.
And it'll be interesting to see how much a volume costs. But the game is free to start. Then you'll be able to purchase game volumes, and you can play a demo of some mini games for free. So I wonder if I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what that exactly means. Also of note, a constant online connection is not required, which I think may be a first for one of these Nintendo
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
games. But it says temporary network access may be needed for the following operations. First launch and then purchasing game volumes. Also,
Yeah,
your photos
makes
are not
sense.
sent to Nintendo, so it could be your butt. Like we said, developed by Intelligent Systems. Yeah, what a interesting surprise.
A very interesting surprise, and especially like just where we are right now. We've got Yoshi this week. We've got this new game next week, and then like, Pictonico. Pictonico. Great name.
Great name.
I'm having so much fun saying it. If you're listening right now, give yourself permission to just shout it.
Yeah,
Pictonico.
it's good.
Anyway, and then the other two Switch 2 games and Rhythm Heaven, all coming out within the next like 2 months. It's a kind of a packed time as we approach what we assume will be a June Nintendo Direct,
Right.
and a shape of the rest of the year, which I was very much in the camp of like we need to start finding out about the rest of this year sooner or later. But like the rest of the calendar is just sort of like filled in here with a Star Fox game and now Pictonico, these like sort of surprise announcements. It just Nintendo always does this. They always put us in a place where we're like, we don't know what's coming up next, and then stuff comes out anyway.
Well, so the Star Fox Direct, Pictonico, and then we'll talk about in a little bit, like the Zelda movie release date changes. I'm like, wow, Nintendo. I haven't checked Nintendo Today for a long time, and I never have turned on push notifications for it. But I'm like, should I be turning on push notifications for Nintendo Today? Because
I mean, possibly
all three, like that's in the last like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like 3 kind of surprise afternoon announcements that are pretty big that like were first out on Nintendo Today. Just kind of interesting. In some ways,
they're living up to the promise
Yeah.
of Nintendo Today. Yeah.
Anything else to say about Pictonico before we move on?
Pictonico! No, nothing else.
Nintendo has announced a new kind of Switch 2 bundle in the US, available through participating retailers starting in early June. It's a pick-your-pack-in bundle where you can get a Switch 2 system along with your choice of a digital download code for either Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, or Pokemon Pokopia, all for $500, $499.99.
Right. So it's a way to sort of replicate the launch bundle of Mario Kart World and a Switch 2 for that same price. But if you're not interested in Mario Kart World, you could get Donkey Kong Bonanza or Pokemon Pokopia.
And the timing of this is interesting to me because, it comes on the heels of them announcing a price increase for the
Right.
US starting in September. So I'm pleasantly surprised that they're doing this now. It just incentivizes people to buy Switch 2s even more before the price increase.
Yeah, totally. Well, and because I do think that Nintendo, their goal here is just to get as many Switch 2s out there so that the games that they publish on it have many systems to be downloaded on, right? Like that's the main goal, especially like when compared to the Switch 1, which they sold over 100 million of those. So like anything else seems like a huge drop off. It's selling well, but it's not selling insanely. So hopefully this, or no, hopefully, I don't know why I'm like rooting for that, but this is another way for them to try to sell these things.
Yeah. I mean, it is so funny to say that because I agree with you. It feels like the Switch 2's momentum has kind of like
Flagged a little,
just kind of like flatlined, or it just becomes steady instead of like the incredible start. But again, we talked about with their earnings release, it is the best selling console of all, like the fastest selling console of all time.
Right.
So, but it had a really hot start and then is just kind of like trailed off.
It's
kind of
kind of mellowed out, and again, just compared to the lifetime success of the Switch 1, it looks bad.
Yeah, and honestly, like hopefully, fingers crossed, nothing will be able to replicate that like kind of like COVID,
right?
Like insane spike in game hardware sales.
Yeah, I mean, until hantavirus and Ebola get us all locked in our homes.
But I think the reason why I thought this was a little bit surprising is because I assumed that, honestly, that they would save something like this for when the price increase happens to try to incentivize that even more. So it makes me curious what they will have up their sleeves for post-September after the price increases.
Yeah, right.
Into
like,
place.
Will there be a version of the bundle that's like $550 and has one of these games with it? We don't really know. Although I do think that there is. So Nintendo does have to put out a new version of the Switch at least in Europe, because there are new regulations that like basically every device has to have a removable and therefore replaceable battery, and the current Switch does not. So my thought is that they are sort of trying to clear out the existing stock of these things, which we know they spent months and months making like extras of on the front end so they could meet whatever the demand was going to be. And by all accounts, they did. So, they've got to get rid of that before they can start selling the replaceable battery version, at least in Europe.
Of the three games, Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, or Pokemon Pokopia, Mario Kart World remains the best deal if you're doing this, because that game is $80 and Bonanza and Pokopia are $70 games. Also, maybe this is another way. We've seen Nintendo be really aggressive post Mario Tennis Fever with game prices. So maybe this is also another way to try to, like, hardware, yes, but software also, get more games into people's hands as well. When they're picking up a new Switch 2.
You think they ever like loop back around to Mario Kart Tennis or Mario Tennis Fever and like drop that price? Or are they just
wonder.
Like that's it, like that?
Yeah, I feel because we talked not that long ago about why Nintendo keeps the prices. Reggie Fils-Aimé, former Nintendo of America president, was giving a speech in New York, I think it was, and mentioned like, Nintendo sets what they think is the value of the game, and then they very rarely put that on sale because they don't want to devalue, like that sort of thing. And
but he doesn't know what's going on there now.
Well, but I just wonder if there's like maybe someday, but I also wonder if there's a little bit of they don't want to, I don't know, for lack of a better word, like
wrong
or like upset people who bought it for $80 at launch. I don't know if that's a good reason, but it is interesting that those have not changed, but maybe there'll be more. Yeah, I don't know. It will be interesting to see, especially something with like Fever, which does not appear to have sold particularly well.
Right. Well, and we still haven't. Well, we have the data points of Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, Star Fox, and Splatoon Raiders. Those are all games that feel like B tier anyway, right?
Right.
And they're not even all the same price, but none of them are $70 digital.
Yeah.
So Yeah, like when do we see the next game that like counts as like a mainline thing, and what will it cost? Will it be 60 digital? Will it be 70 digital and 80 physical? Or will it be 80 digital? Like we're in totally uncharted territory, and I know I've harped on that previously, but yeah, all just interesting stuff.
In Australia, Nintendo also announced a Pokemon Pokopia bundle that will launch in early June as well. But as indicated by the name, doesn't offer the same selection of games, and instead is just like includes a download code for Pokopia.
Which honestly is a killer app for the Switch too. Like I really like Mario Kart World. Donkey Kong Bonanza is fantastic, like a truly wonderful game. But Pokemon Pokopia made me cry. So like a couple times, and a game I had so much fun with. And I just think that there are, because the Pokemon audience is what it is, and because the sort of like cozy game audience is what it is, that it has the potential to be a real driver for systems and for software. Um, like matched probably only by, well, not probably, when Winds and Waves come out, that'll be another like seismic shift in the audience for Switch 2. But yeah, I think it's smart that they're putting Pokopia forward here.
Miyamoto took to social media last week to give an update on the Zelda movie release date. So, originally announced for March 26th, then they delayed it to March 7th, and now the movie is coming out 1 week earlier on April 30th, 2027.
Yeah. Do you think, because both the Mario movies came out in April, do you think Nintendo is just like staking their claim? They're like, no, we do April.
Yeah, I
April
wonder.
belongs to us.
Yeah.
It's so interesting that they are confident in that date.
Well, it's been moved twice before, so who knows?
Good point.
At the end of the day, who knows? But you have a note in here that there's no official name for the movie, or we don't know what the final title is.
Right.
I wonder if it will just end up being the Legend of Zelda movie.
I feel like that, the Super Mario Brothers movie, there's like a sense that makes, whereas like the Zelda games all have these like Baroque weird little subtitles.
They'll accept the first one.
Well, yeah, sure.
And this would be the first movie. I wonder if you give it a subtitle if it seems too much like, wait, what am I missing? What was the first one? What, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, if they just call it The Legend of Zelda, the movie, I would not call this the movie. This has to have like a different relationship to reality, right? And not be like as kind of junky. Like, I'm not even trying to say anything disparaging about.
No, but I know what
Mario
you mean.
Movies. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Super Mario movie, of course, has like the most crossover appeal. We've talked about this before. Like, what other? There is no other Nintendo franchise, I do not believe, that has the same like generational crossover appeal that Mario does.
Right. And like further to that, that would work as a movie. Right. Like Zelda.
Yes.
Zelda is number 2 here, but then like beyond that, it's like Star Fox, I guess some people care about a little bit, but like so few people. Metroid, some people care about, but again, so few people. And then what? Animal Crossing? You're gonna do an Animal Crossing movie? I don't think so.
But okay, I'm willing. Should we do $1 million bet?
Yeah,
I think that it's going to be just called The Legend of Zelda movie,
and I think it's just going to be called The Legend of Zelda.
Okay.
All right.
It
$1
is
million bet.
Yes,
Lock it in.
It's sealed. All right. There is an unverified report that Nintendo will officially enter the market in India with the launch of the Switch, the first one, in early 2027. So not the Switch 2, the original Switch. The news comes from a podcast and Substack called Day Zero Media, which appears to focus on the Indian game market. I'm not very familiar with it. I don't know like how trustworthy it is, but they're reporting that it'll be the original model, so no OLED or Switch Lite, and that it'll cost 20,000 rupees, which is approximately $200. And according to Day Zero Media, the Switch is currently available in India via the gray market for about that same price.
Okay, interesting.
Apparently, the last time Nintendo had an official presence in India was during the DS and Wii era. So this would kind of be them re-entering it. I feel like this sparked some interest on the internet because as of the last financial earnings from Nintendo, the original Switch had sold about 155 million units, and the PS2 has sold 160, according to Sony. And
a number that they have changed.
Number that they have changed, but we don't have any reason to think is fake. But so
we don't.
Yeah.
But it is just funny.
Yeah,
and makes perfect sense that they would reach a like ridiculous, number and then be like, we don't need to update that anymore.
Right,
and
right.
Just like,
and then when the Switch kept selling, be like
well,
actually,
we found some more.
Yes. So I think that's partly why this has engaged interest online, is because
It's another market to sell into. Yeah.
Yes. But interesting. The German Nintendo X account confirmed that the company will be attending Gamescom this August. Nintendo doesn't always attend. There were years in the later part of the Switch where they weren't. But last year with the Switch 2, they had a booth promoting the new console. We don't know yet what Nintendo will be showing off at Gamescom this year. Last year, they had, a ton of Switch 2 games, including Elden Ring,
Tarnished edition.
I think that's where we got reports that it was looking pretty rough before it was eventually delayed to sometime this year. We don't have a news item on it, but in the parent company of From Software, I can't remember what their name is, but they reconfirmed that both Elden Ring Tarnished Edition and Duskbloods is supposed to...
Night Rain is an Elden Ring thing.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, Duskbloods are supposed to release sometime in 2026.
Which I guess it's sort of comforting to know that they haven't officially been moved off of this year. Yeah, it's but
also it's just something else that could show up in a Nintendo Direct in June,
right,
or a partner showcase.
Although we are definitely due a Nintendo Direct in June.
Absolutely.
Especially because if they are bringing games to Gamescom at the end of August, by August they will have released all the games that we know about.
Right, and June is historically when they show off what the big holiday game is. So one way or another, I do think we'll get that big game in June.
I agree.
So I know we put a moratorium on talking about new Nintendo Lego new sets, but is the retirement of some sets enough to make us break that solemn promise?
I think so. Also, I'm pretty sure we've broken it.
That doesn't sound like us.
I think we probably have broken this
that doesn't sound
a couple
right.
times.
No. According to the Lego website's Last Chance to Buy page, a slew of Nintendo Lego sets are being retired, including, but not limited to, the Zelda Great Deku Tree set, the Adventures with Interactive Lego Mario set, and I think all of the Mario Kart sets, plus some Animal Crossing ones. I don't know if it's all of them. But anyways, a lot of the Nintendo Lego sets are reaching their end of manufacturing.
Which makes sense that these things don't go on to sell infinitely. That's always true of Nintendo's physical products. It is just a sort of weird thing to square with if Nintendo makes a game, like a Switch game, you can buy all of the Switch games that Nintendo published now.
Right.
And they won't stop selling them through the life of the Switch 2 at least. But so yeah, it's just a funny little thing to have to take into consideration there. Mark, I saw that there was a comment on one of our episodes a couple weeks ago where you and I were talking about the some Lego sets. Someone reprimanding us for referring to them as Legos when they are in fact Lego bricks.
Oh,
which is something that we know, but I think just sort of are colloquially.
Yes, that's right. But we are generally,
we are pedants. You're right.
Sometimes.
Yes.
It's a note when you see it type thing. But thank you for the correction. It is noted. We know we're being incorrect, I guess, is what.
Right. I don't always hear it when it comes out of my mouth. But we know that's not right.
Right. We know that they're Lego bricks. Yes. But we just are refusing to call them that.
Right.
Out of laziness more than stubbornness. This isn't a Bubsy situation.
No.
There's a new demo for the Adventures of, or is it just Adventures? No, anyways, there's a new demo for Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales, which I totally forgot about. It comes out next month.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing is that, as we're barreling towards the release of all these first-party Nintendo games, here are some of the like what was the Indiana Jones just came out last week.
Yeah.
And they released reviews for it, Mark.
and the reviews were pretty positive.
The reviews are pretty positive.
Yeah.
Did that
Yes,
move the needle for you?
I do intend to pick it up at some point.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, here's another one, The Adventures of Elliot, which or Adventures of Elliot, we don't know for sure.
It probably Adventures of Elliot because it has the Millennium Tales, and although
This is Square Enix. I mean, they'll put as many words in there
you're
that
right.
you would stumble over. But yeah, it comes out June 18th, and they had released a demo like early that was not a like representative.
It was one of those
early
we
part of
want
the
your
game.
feedback things that they do with these
Yes.
HD2D games.
But the demo that's available now, a month in advance of the game, is the beginning. It's the opening like chapter of the game, and your progress will carry over. They've done this for a lot of the Square Enix games. I'm very excited for The Adventures of Elliot, and
I wasn't really
Yeah.
like I of course liked what I played of Octopath Traveler, but didn't beat the game, and nobody ever did. We know that. Even the
That's right.
even the listener who did and wrote
Mhm.
in telling us that they did. And then I of course like Live Alive. I don't know how you're supposed to say that.
I think it Live Alive.
Okay, but anyways, that game was awesome. But I
Mhm.
think those are the only HD2D games that I purchased. And
One a wholly original game, the other a remake of a Super Famicom game.
yes, but the previews for Adventures of Elliot came out today, and the vast majority of them that I saw were really positive on the game and saying that it was basically doing that classic Zelda formula that Nintendo is not doing anymore.
Yeah, sure.
And that really piqued my interest. So
Right. Well, because unlike the majority of the HD 2D games, remake or otherwise, this is not a turn-based RPG. It's like a real-time.
right.
It's still like got a lot of RPG elements, but like you're pushing a button to swing a sword and like move around strategically.
And it sounds like you're like doing dungeons with puzzles in
Yep.
them. Like it all feels very all the previews are basically like this is the classic Zelda formula, and that has me very intrigued. So I think I'll download the demo if nothing else.
Yeah, my impression of it was that it was like the Seiken Densetsu Secret of Mana games. When I played the original demo, I'll check out this demo as well. Normally, if like I've been in a place where if it's one of these, your progress carries over, I'm like, I'll just wait until the game comes out.
Right.
But I don't know. I'll give it a shot. I've got 3 days until Yoshi comes out.
Finally, Moss, the Forgotten Relic, has been announced for consoles, including Switch and Switch 2, plus PC release sometime this summer. So this combines the experiences from Moss and Moss Book 2 that were both VR titles.
Yeah. So, Mark, do you have much experience with the Moss
don't.
games? So I played the original Moss on PSVR, which it was exclusive to at the time, and it is a game where you play as because it's a VR game, you're sort of a like benevolent spirit creature that's guiding this character Quill, who's a little like mouse on an adventure, and it has a very like storybook kind of quality to it where like she's running around this forest and like has a little sword, and it's all very like cute and fun, and I really liked it. But the sort of opportunity cost of moving the table and putting on the PSVR headset and committing to not being able to see what's going on around you to actually play a VR game, the like one great hurdle that's like impossible to overcome for me personally with any VR game. I didn't get very far in it, even though I liked it quite a bit. And then the second one I had never touched at all. But both of these games now are being combined and released in like a not VR perspective on basically everything, including Switch One.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's very cool that like I don't know, it reads to me, and I know it was not a like Sony didn't publish it or anything like that, but it sure did launch as a PSVR exclusive, and we're just like totally breaking containment here, and it'll be on everything. They're saying that the new version is an enhanced and reimagined from the original experience into a non-VR game. Some of the screenshots that I saw do make it seem a little bit more like isometric looking than my experience playing the original
interesting.
Moss. So I don't know how much, taking the control of the camera out of, your head motions changes the experience. I would imagine kind of a lot. But yeah, I'm excited to check this out when it comes out this summer. All right, Mark, that's the news. Let's close this out. I guess there was one thing that was we didn't end up putting in the news, but I did want to mention that there are 2 new characters in Marvel Cosmic Invasion right now.
Oh,
Cyclops and Ben Grimm the Thing are a new like duo of characters in that game. I didn't know they were going to be adding characters.
yeah, that's fun.
That's a cool game, and Cyclops looking really cool, wearing like the blue and yellow and like a brown jacket. It's all very good. That's a good game. We should talk more about it. But all right, that's gonna do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. You should join our Discord if you're not in there already. Email us. We'll send you an invitation. Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Eller saying thank you for listening. Pictonico!
Pictonico!